1,000 amazing subscribers. Guys, we hit 1,000. I'm so happy. To everyone that has contributed to the success of this channel, I appreciate all your efforts. My OGs, the new subscribers, I appreciate all your efforts for the likes, the comments, the shares. Like, I'm amazed. Like, guys, I'm impressed. So I say thank you. So if this is your first time seeing me, I'm Patricia, a Nigerian menswear designer based here in Nigeria. I create sewing tutorials, fashionable style hacks and tricks, behind the scene blogs, and lots more. Each week comes with new videos, so ensure to subscribe and click the notification bell, somewhere around, so you'll be the first to know when I upload new video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a corset with yoke. This corset design is a Basque corset, so ensure to stay to the end. Ensure to watch it step by step. Don't rush it, so you can understand every step I'm going to show you in this video. So guys, there is nothing so technical or nothing so difficult about this design, so it's just something understandable. So if you haven't watched a video of my where I drafted a half scale basic bodice pattern, I'll link it somewhere on the screen, because you need your half scale basic bodice pattern to enable you draft this corset pattern. So I'll link it somewhere in the description box or on the screen, so you go check it out, watch it before you can follow up with this video. So guys, let's get down and let me unveil to you every technique in making this corset design. This is the outcome of the pattern we are going to be drafting now, so I urge you to stay till the end so you won't miss any of this procedure I'll be putting in this video. So I went ahead to draft the basic bodice for this pattern, and I have a video on my channel on how to draft a basic bodice. I'll draw a straight line there and label it. This is the chest line, and this is the bust point, and that would be the under bust for this pattern. And after that, I will go ahead to tighten the under bust. The under bust measurement is 31 divided by 4, which gives 7.75. I'll measure what I have left after measuring my 7.75, and this is giving 1.5. I'll share 1.5 on the dart legs. So for the other side front, I will go out by 1 inches from the center dart leg, and from the other center front I'll go out by ½ inch and connect it to the down part, that's the waistline, and I'll connect it just the way I am doing right now, and use my marker pen to thicken it up. After doing that, I'll connect it to the bust point from this dart leg, and I'll use my curve. Just try and avoid too much curve while making this corset. Yes, so I will connect it using the curve just the way I am doing right now. So after connecting it, I'll go ahead and cut it out, and I will cut out the rest of the pattern. So for this pattern, we'll be using our bust dart technique to achieve a perfect fit on our corset dress. After cutting, I'll close up the side bust dart. So I'm trying to make sure everything relaxes well, so I won't have, some excess after closing it up. So I make sure everything is in place. After making sure everything aligns, I will use my tape to tape it down and cut out the excess. And this is the both side front and the side back matching up together. Let's work on the front pattern, which is in men deal. I will divide the shoulder into 2, and this is giving 2.75. So I'll divide it and connect it to the bust point using a straight line. So I'll connect it like so. After that, I will tighten my upper bust. So to tighten this upper bust, I'll come down by 6.5, 6 inches or 7 inches, depending on how deep you want your bust area to be revealed. So for this client or for this pattern, I'll be going with 6.5 inches, and I'll make it in a straight line just the way I am doing right now. After that, I will go out from that center dart to the side front by 0.75. I ended up changing it. So for the other center front, I use 0.75. For the side front, I use 0.5 inches. It's just personal for me. You can go with the 0.75 on both sides, and I'll connect it to the bust point just the way I am doing right now with a straight line. I told you avoid too much curve while making your corset pattern. So before making this curve, I'll come in from this side front by 1.5 inch, depending on how busty your client is. You can come in by 1 inch or 1.5 and connect it to that point, and I'll use the curve to connect it. You can use your freehand sketch if you don't have your pattern curves. So I will connect it just this way and ticking it with my marker pen just the way I am doing it right now. So after that, I'll go to the center front area and connect it to the bust point just the way I am doing now. Make sure the thing aligns well. I will connect it just like this. So to get our neck depth, I will come down by 6 inches, 5.5, 5 inches, depending on how revealing you want your bust to be. But for this pattern, I'll be using 5 inches. I went down by 5 inches from the neckline depth, and this is how I want the cleavage to be. And I'll connect it to that point where I just marked the 5 inches. So I'll connect the bust, upper bust tighten to the point where I just marked the 5 inches, just like this. So after making this connection, I will go over to the side front and connect it to that point I marked the 1.5 inch, and I will do it just this way and use my marker pen to thicken it up. So after doing that, I will blend it up, trying to close the dots to know if it's going to match up or there will be some allowances left or excess allowance left at the upper part. So I matched it up. As you can see, there are some little allowance left. I will blend it up just like this and coming with my curve to make the blend more visible. So after while joining this pattern, we won't have any shortage on our pattern. So after that, I will label it. This is the bust point. I use this arrow to indicate where the bust point is, so it will be easier to identify. This is the center front and side front, and after that I will label the other part of it. For this other side, this is the side front and this is the center front for this pattern, and this is the front yoke for this pattern. So to get our neckline, I will increase the neckline because I wouldn't want it side or so close to the neck. I will increase it by 1 inch from the basic body's neckline and connect it to that place, and this is how I connected it. After that, I will come down by 1.5 inch to make the keyhole neckline for this pattern. So I'll come down by 1.5 inch and connect it to the second dart leg. So I'll connect this 1.5 inch I just marked out to the second dart leg, and this is it. I'll use my curve to make it this way. You can go down by 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch, depending on how you want it to be. So I'll connect it just the way I did, and after that I will cut it out. This pattern comes in pieces, so I would advise you make the necessary annotation on this pattern so it will be easier and it won't get you confused while transferring to fabric and as well joining your fabrics together. So this is where I'm cutting it, and I just cut it out just this way. So I will carve out that place. I don't want it so pointy, and I will carve it out and cut it. So for the yoke part, I will cut out the keyhole, everything, just cut it. So after cutting, I will indicate where the yoke will be joining with the main fabric at that point. And while cutting on fabric, I will notch it as well. So this is it. I will cut out the neck area. Remember the 1 inch we took out from the front neckline. We'll do the same thing for the back neckline as well. So I'm trying to trim off the excesses around the front hole, the front armhole, sorry. So after that, this is the full pattern for the fronts aside the basque design. For this particular corset design, I wouldn't want to have a joining on that front area, so I will join the both like this using my masking tape and join it up just the way I am doing right now. You can decide to leave yours open and it pass either your wriggling bone or your plastic bone on it. So this is it. I will go ahead now to cut the back pattern. So this is the back pattern. I will open up the dart leg using 0.25 inches on both sides, and I'll connect it to the main dart leg just the way I am doing right now. So my marker pen. For the back pattern, I'll be using eyelets instead of loops. So I will come out by 1.5 inch from the first dart leg, just the way I'm doing now. So depending on how open you want it to be, you can decide to just use the dart leg and continue, but I'll be using eyelet. I need enough room or allowances for the eyelet to size in. So for the upper part, I made another adjustment. I decided to work with 2 inches for the upper part, so I extended it with 1/2 inch and connected it to the down part just the way I'm doing now. So after that, I will measure what I have left because I'll be needing it while making this dress. So I have 1.95 left for the down part, and for the upper part, I'll measure what I have left. I have 2.5 inches left for the upper part, which is quite open, right? I'll come in by 1 inch for the neckline and connect it to the other side like this, just what I did for the front part. After that, I will come in from the neckline by 1.5 inch. So I will come in by 1.5 inch for where our button is going to be for the back, and this is it. You can decide to go in by 1 inch, and I'll connect it to the first dart leg for the upper part. So I'm connecting it like this, and I will thicken it up just the way I am doing right now. So after that, our pattern is ready, and this is where the button will be sitting. Okay, so this is the full pattern for the back, and I'll label it. This is the yoke for this back. This is the back yoke, and you can decide to use a nude net for this back yoke depending on your choice. So I'm cutting it out and labeling it after cutting it. So this is the center back for this pattern. This is where the darts will join, and this is the side back for this pattern, and this is the upper parts of this. I'll go ahead to cut out the remaining one. So this is the full pattern for the back. For the back design, I'll come down by 4 inches. I connect it to the waistline, so you can go down by 4 inches, 4.5, 3.5, 3 inches, but 3 inches is the minimum and 4.5 is the maximum. So I connected it, and I'll extend the dart leg just the way I am doing right now. So this is it. I will cut it out, and I will label the 4 inches I came down with, just to remember. So this is the full pattern for this front parts, and this is the whole pattern we've been working on for the back and the front. So for the down part of this basque design, I went ahead to draft my pattern for the skirt or the down part, and I'll close up the darts just the way I am doing it, and I'll use my tape to tape it down, let it relax well. So this is it. After taping it down, I'll bring in the front pattern. You can decide to use the front pattern and measure it up like this and connect it, or you measure out the 4 inches that you used for the down part of the front pattern and connect it to the waistline So after marking the 4 inches downwards, you connect it to the waistline just the way I am doing now, and this is it matching up. And I will cut it out after, making sure everything corresponded. So this is me cutting it out. In our next video on this channel, I'll be using this pattern to make a beautiful dress using a lace and velvet material. So don't miss out. Ensure you subscribe. See you in my next video. So if this video was helpful to you, ensure to leave a comment below, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Click the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload the sewing tutorial for this pattern. So guys, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in whatever time you're watching this video. Bye.